those baby blues. Yeah, those baby blues. Take my picture with you when you go out west, those baby blues. If you love me, then just say it with your chest, those baby blues. Now, don't forget about me, yeah, I will do my best, those baby blues. Oh, that's true for me and you. Take my picture with you when you go out west. If you love me, then just say it with your chest. But don't forget about me, yeah, I will do my best. And that's the truth for me and you. And those baby blues. Yeah, those baby blues. A broken man without a path. A vagrant aimless without a mouth. Took 2 long breaths and just one more till my lungs couldn't hold another. For you and me. And those baby blues. Yeah, those baby blues. Those baby blues.
Yep. What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to this episode of the K-Gun Report. I am your blurry Scott. I'm not sure why my camera's doing that, but welcome to the K-Gun Report, episode 14, season 7. Yes, we are on our 7th season. We have a fun show today. We're going to talk about kind of getting people off the edge here. It's 5 weeks until the beginning of the training camp, and it's a lot of time to start thinking about things. And, you know, there's a lot of positive that we could take out of what's going on here in Buffalo. So we're excited to talk about it. Can't wait to talk to all of you about it. I've got Jared joining me today. We'll talk about it. We'll see you in a minute.
Hey, Bills Mafia. This is Don Beebe of the Buffalo Bills, and you're listening to the one and only K-Gun Report. Oh, and you all know, go Buffalo.
And you all know, go Buffalo. Welcome to the 7th season, 14th episode of the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Scott, today. Our buddy Swank is actually playing out in Buffalo, the Endless Mountain Derelicts. So have fun out there. If you're out there watching Swank, tune in on your phones. We got a great viewership right now as it is. Love seeing you all join in. We're going to talk a little bit of, 5 weeks lull time of the season, a little bit of optimistic point of view of the Buffalo Bills fans. Like I said in the intro, taking you guys off the edge here, the ledge, and kind of simmering down a little bit, talking some Bills football and the reality of what 2026 in our minds and in your minds is going to look like. With that being said, I have to introduce my brother from the same mother. Welcome to the K-Gun Report, Jerry, Jared. It's been a busy couple weeks for you with the family. How are you? What's going on? And also tell people where they could find us.
Hey, Scott. I'm doing great over here in between Senegal Lake, Cuca Lake, Canandaigua Lake, right in the middle of the Finger Lakes. Love it. Loving every second of it. School is out for the summer. The kids had their last day today. So the camps and the activities and everything is about to begin. The fun summer adventure is on its way. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter, X, I think that's the same thing. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have on Facebook and Instagram, we have Finger Lakes FLX Mafia, which is our sister page that represents the Finger Lakes area, and YouTube. And if you look up 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, pretty much on all those platforms, you'll be able to find us. So that's where we're at. Do me a favor, go like, share, tag, tag somebody that's not a Bills fan and say, hey, look at this awesome site. They talk crap about your team and do whatever. So get after it. And I'm glad I'm here Tuesday night. Let's talk football. A lot going on with a little bit of what's, the offseason, like you said. But there's two Buffaloes standing over there at the new stadium. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. A couple of the taking care of just most recent events. Yes, that second full-size buffalo got delivered today, I believe. So it has horns on it. And for those of you who call it antlers, antlers are more than one. Horns are one on each side.
Horns you find on a car.
Yeah, right. But yeah, one of the adult ones. Jared, do you know how many adult ones they're going to have there? As far as
I think two. I think it's two adults and one baby. Bye,
Very-
son. Bye, son.
There you go. Very cool. The ribbon cutting was today, so officially open for business, as they say. Jared, I know, like me, it's going to be very hard to get to a game this year. I'm obviously involved with my youth football sports around here as a coach, and your guys in sports. Sundays are pretty much occupied until game time. So, not making it to a game, what are you most excited about watching from home about this new stadium?
Just hearing about the ins and outs of it. There's a whole bunch of new aspects that I don't think Bills Mafia are ready to see in the stadium. One of the big things are the wall of fame there, that the ring of fame that they have up there of all the players. I know today during the ribbon cutting ceremony, they made mention of the players that are going to be in that stadium. But an aspect of the stadium that I'm really excited about that I didn't know was happening is that when this all started getting under control or going in motion, he made a promise to the people who are going to be participating in building the stadium that their names would be on it. And sure enough, there's a wall outside the stadium with over 5,000 people's names on it already that have helped participate in building the stadium. And Maddie Glab, who did the ceremony today, did a great job. Maddie, you did perfect. She mentioned the fact that she interviewed one of the individuals who helped build the stadium that has built other stadiums, and no other stadium has ever done this. So it's truly unique in Buffalo Bills style that we honor the people who put their blood and tears and their time in building a stadium that Bills Mafia is going to have for 30 years, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think just for a lot of people that stay home, watch the game at a watch party at a bar, which we will have this year, guys. So keep tuned about that. Or in your man cave with a couple big TVs. I think one of the things second best to actually being in the stadium is being somewhere where there's lot of people watching and a big TV. I can't wait to see just how exciting it is, because they're going to pan to everything. They're going to pan to the standing room only. They're going to show everything that Thursday night, where that day is all ours alone that we get to celebrate. So I can't wait just to see what the visual aspect from the viewers at home will get, because it's going to be a treat. They're going to make it a treat for everybody.
Fantastic.
I'd be remiss to mention right off the get, we have a couple sponsors. Right in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York, two local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa's, it's all about flavor, Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then, just down the road, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout, cold beers, a welcome atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. Yeah, I love it there. The bar itself is a nice. It's not the biggest bar, but it's cozy. You can get comfortable. There's not a bad seat there, and they're quick to get you your drinks. And you can also order food from there at Otis and Lisa's, which they'll bring right over within minutes. But you can't miss it. It's right in Phelps. Look for the signs. You see their logos right above there, Otis and Lisa's and Dirty Jacks. Thank you for being a sponsor. I know on Tuesday nights they have karaoke night, so if you're not singing a song or currently choosing a song, tune into this. And then they have live music and all that stuff on the weekend. So check them out for sure. If you're within 15, 20-mile radius, it's not that far away. Come out and join. What's up, Jared? We got some fans as always in the comments. Uncle Jamie stating, "What's up, Mafia? What's up, Uncle Jamie?" Doug Augie says, "What's up? Ribbon cutting day." Yep, ribbon cutting day. It is official. The stadium is open for business. Kevin Kanya, thanks for the shout out, Kevin, this week. Yeah, he wished me a happy Father's Day, as I did him. Go Bills. The new stadium looks awesome. John Robert, biggest news was a Bills ribbon cutting. Yep. We're on top.
Did you see a Deion Dawkins blew that was the inaugural blowing the train horn in the stadium?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a couple workers up there with him. He gave respects to them and thanked a lot of people that were there. And then all of a sudden he hit that horn, and I tell you what, that was freaking loud. That was loud.
Ellen Lart says, "Was glad to see Mary Wilson at the stadium today." Holy cow, I didn't know she was there.
Yep.
And then, John Robert said Mary Wilson was interviewed. That's a nice thing to do, offer the Wilson family for sure. Jared, there's a lot of tradition there at the new stadium, or at the old stadium. The horn, that pew, the all that. We know the sounds. I saw on what's Eric Wood's show, Jared? There,
Centered on Buffalo.
Centered on Buffalo. I know he was talking to Kincaid and Knox, and he mentioned the Bright Side song. Is that something that you think should continue being a tradition there, or is that something? Obviously, they're both still on the team, so they're going to present it at the games. But is this something that even when they retire, that this would be something that the Bills carried on at that stadium for the next 30 years?
That's a great question. You said when they retire, because I don't think it's necessarily a Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson Stadium, Rich Stadium, New Era Stadium, Highmark Stadium thing. I think it's a Dawson Knox thing, and he incorporated it with the Bills, when they were up one game and all of a sudden they played it and it became a thing. So I think it's definitely a player thing. When do they stop doing it? I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. Players thing that eventually becomes a fans thing, right? So,
yeah,
I think continue. Hey, let's bring them in, bro. Let's bring them in.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have a special guest joining us here in a couple minutes. I got to get the invite out to him as soon as possible. But you guys know him, RTA from the Thomas Take Sport podcast. We'll get him in here in just a second. But first, I want to hit up these comments. What's up, Corey Teed from BWO? What's up, brothers? What's up, Corey?
Hey.
Jim Graham, what's up? Will they have the Mad Dog 2020 serve at the new stadium? I will come up to the game from Alabama this year for the first time in Buffalo. I tell you what, brother, nice. The first time coming up to a game and it's that stadium, man, oh man, that'll be a hell of an experience. I'm guessing, Jim, you're gonna have to bring your own Mad Dog. But
that being said, I bet you there's gonna be a bigger variety of beer, being that it's a higher end, more up-to-date stadium. They'll probably have more vendors there.
Oh, for sure. But darn well they're still going to keep it at pretty penny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got more comments coming in. Sorry, I just had to send the invite. You guys are kicking butt. We have 500 people live joining us. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. And today we're going to focus on, honestly, there's a lot of changes going on, Jared, as you're well aware. New offensive head coach, offensive coordinator transitioning to the dual role. Wide receiver room is always a question. Offensive line, I think we're pretty confident there in the running back situation. But then we got that whole new defensive scheme, defensive coaching. There's a lot of stuff that fans, rightfully so, can be a little worried about. And so it's mine and Jared's job today. Hopefully RT is going to join in here shortly. We're going to try to talk you off the ledge, like I said earlier, as being I would say sometimes, Jared, I wouldn't say we're too much of overly optimistic, but I find personally it's a responsibility of a Bills content page to spit out stuff that's not just factual, but to keep a positive spin on it, right? Would you agree? I wouldn't say we got to get on here to do that. I'm saying we need to kind of keep it. We have a ton of followers, we have a ton of viewers that listen in on us, and the last thing I want to do is spit some shade. And I think it's coming from, and I'm going to ask your opinion here. What do you think it's all coming from? Me personally, I think it's all coming from just the unknown. Like, what is a Joe Brady led team running the offense going to look like? What is a Jim Leonard's defense changing the whole scheme going to look like? I find that more pundits than not venture off to the negativity part, because not only does it get a lot of algorithm likes and all that, but it also, at the end of the season, Jared, how many teams win the Super Bowl?
Uno.
So how many times can these guys that are all negative say, I was right? What'd I tell you? I think there's a lot of that playing into it. So what's your take on this whole, a lot of Bills fans being more of a pessimistic side than we've seen lately than an optimistic? What's up with that?
No, it's absolutely right. I think it comes, it's in the society that we all live in, that it's easy to be negative and hard to be optimistic about things. People like to jump on the bandwagon of being pessimistic. The Bills are 0-0 right now. The last 6 seasons, I think the worst record was 11-6. They've been 13-4, 12-4, winning seasons in and out every season. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon when people start to roll about being negative. They got pent up stuff inside that they want to get rid of. But I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've turned off a lot of podcasts and live streams in this last week and a half because of that. Because I think most podcasts right now, or a lot of them, are fishing for that negative algorithm to get people to come in. You title your show "Bills are going to suck this year," and people are going to gravitate to it for some reason. They're 0-0. If the Bills are going to suck, people, I want you to go out there and look up who these betting companies have for the favorites to win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl this year. It's the Buffalo Bills. So why is there so much negativity? Why is there so much negativity on these podcasts and live streams that are out there? You guys got to stay away from it. The only ones I've been watching lately, to be honest with you, are the ones that the players run, because they've been there, they've done that. They have players on there that are optimistic. They know the game. I'm listening to them more often because they have the optimistic view. The Bills are 0-0. We have 6 weeks before the season starts. Why are we already down on them? And It's because it's easy to do that. At the end of the season, you can be like, told you so, instead of being like, I love the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to root for them day in and day out, and they're going to be successful right now. I believe so. Not shit on them.
See, my take on that, Jerry, is every year, and Bills fans, we say it every year. This is our year. This is our year. So and that's the majority of us, and that's the optimistic part of it. But if you're going to say this is my year, this is our year, and in the same breath, knock everything they do, I mean, that's kind of like an oxymoron, a contradiction there. Why are we saying that this is our year and then turning around and saying there's no way we're going to be successful with what we have coaching and playing? It's hard to follow. You're right. It definitely is. But that's what the show's about. We're going to bring up, I think, 5 of the biggest topics that I think people are concerned about. And don't get us wrong, guys. You could follow whatever podcast you want to watch. The K-Gun Report 24/7 Buff Pandemonium tends to keep it more optimistic. But you got to understand that there's a lot of question because of the amount of moves that have been made this year. And we still haven't won the Super Bowl, and we got new coaches. So I'm not saying I disagree with any of it. It's just, come on, you got to be excited about something. And again, try to beat the algorithm the other way. The positivity is a lot better. There's enough stress. There's enough stuff to stress over in life, is there not? Yeah. Work. You got a bunch of kids you got to worry about. You got a family that you got to take care of. The Buffalo Bills. We had a nice post out this week on the social media about what it was like to be a Bills fan. It's more than just a football game. It's more than just being a logical fan. There's more to it. And the optimistic part is something that goes along with it all, and it always has. And if you're going to continue every year saying this is our year, start acting like it.
Damn right.
Dang, Skippy. Let's see what John Robert says. I am rooting for Toriano Pride Jr., CB. He's an underdog, but playing well. I agree. I think Torian Pride, Jared, is one of those Benford-esque type players, late round. I think he was a 6th or 7th rounder. Definitely has the speed. And right now on their current roster, I think he's their backup to Hairston. For sure. All right. So let's get into, I think, and I believe it's the biggest concern that a lot of fans are dealing with is the conversation that's been going on for quite a while. It raised some conversation when Bean got on WGR last year about the wide receiver room. It's the Josh Allen, the DJ Moore and crew. Some people say this is the best wide receiver core on paper that we've had in a while since Diggs. Some people are saying swing and a miss by Bean again, even though we haven't seen DJ Moore play. I want your take, Jared. And throw it at us. I mean, we haven't seen him play yet. We don't know what he's all about. So why are people on the hot seat about him already?
Yeah, I think it's who's on the hot seat? Brady?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think people want a huge like Justin Jefferson type receiver to come in here. If you look at the past, we haven't had a true number one probably in the last 2 years. 2023 was probably Stephon Diggs. That was his last true number one. Then we had Gabe Davis and Khalil Shakir was on board. It's I don't know. Are they expecting failure again? I guess, if you listen to the players playing with him, Josh Allen has mentioned how he moves his body well, he cuts well, he catches well, he runs routes like he's never seen before. So why are we listening to pundits when we could just listen to Mr. Josh Allen's mouth himself? You know what I mean? So I think the high expectation is expected out of DJ Moore. We're expecting, if he is the true number one, to have outstanding numbers. But there's a lot of other factors that are going to have to go with that. It's going to have to it's going to be determined by the health of this offense, how well they stay healthy. We all know Carmichael coming in, he is a guru for play action pass and throwing the ball to the running backs. So again, as we say year in and year out, what numbers are you looking for a wide receiver one to have? Because if Keon Coleman's coming up like we expect him to be year 3, he knows it's make or break. Khalil Shakir, consistent all year, every year. And then you have DJ Moore. We're hoping big things. James Cook had a great season last year, and Carmichael's going to give him the ball more out of the backfield. Dawson Knox and Kincaid, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be threats. So it's going to be more of, and I say it every week, I feel like it's going to be more an efficient consistency that we're looking for, not necessarily 1,300 yards with 16 touchdowns by a receiver.
Right. And I think what a lot of people are saying or seeing is like the receivers like the AJ Browns that were available at one point. And I think there was a deal with New England far before a lot of people knew. They were just waiting for the June 6th deadline. But trying to find a reason to hate DJ Moore is just that is trying to find. I know you're going to throw stats at me out there. I know you're going to say in 2025 he had under 100 targets with 50 catches. But the big stat that jumped out to me about DJ Moore was the 17 games that he played. He played in his last 5 seasons I'm seeing here, 17 games. The best ability is availability. And I've tried to explain to people, and I had to convince myself because I didn't like his numbers from last year. But when you break it down, Jerry, the Chicago Bears, DJ Moore got the short end of the stick. The Chicago Bears are going to have to pay Caleb Williams eventually. And the Chicago Bears are making a lot of moves to make their offense dynamic. And in doing so, they brought in 2 wide receivers, I believe, in the first 2 rounds the last couple of years in Burden and Adunze. So odd man out was Moore, not because he wasn't producing, because the year before that he had 140 targets, 98 catches. Before that, 136 targets, 96 catches. That was just 2-3 years ago. That wasn't last year. So you're going to knock him off. You're going to say that he's not a wide receiver in one anymore because he had one off year, a year of which they brought in a rookie wide receiver who needs to grow and a second year committed player that has shown growth. You're going to bring your young bucks in to take over. So DJ Moore is legit. He's a wide receiver number one. He's got speed. He's got playmaking ability, yards after catch, and he runs everything in the route tree. So there is no reason to think that I'm going to say it. I'm comparing him. He's a little older than when Diggs came in, but I'm comparing him with Diggs. Remember, Diggs was a wide receiver number 2 in Minnesota. Diggs also got 150 targets. The Bills aren't. Josh Allen 5, 6, 7 years ago is a throw the ball to Diggs 150 times type of guy. That's not him anymore. We'll be lucky if we get a wide receiver or a tight end that sees 120 targets. That's just not in the cards anymore here in Buffalo, because you're right. We do have DJ Moore now. We have Khalil Shakir, who's going to not demand but earn the respect of getting targets. James Cook out of the backfield. Kincaid, Knox, and Keon Coleman hopefully coming out of a mature year here. They're not going to have 150 catches. So if you're dead set on saying we need someone like Stephon Diggs, then you can only say from your mouth that it was worth it if this guy gets 150 targets. You at least have to give him that ability to get 150 targets, and then talk about what numbers he's going to have. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it.
There isn't a reason why Diggs hit over 100 receptions for, I think, 2 years that he was here. 2 out of the 4 he was here was because his efficiency, his catch rate was very high. So he was given the targets, but he made like 85% of the catches. And between 85 and 75, that 10% can drop you from 120 to 85. So, yeah. And another thing, Scott, you said 2 years ago, 98 for almost 1,000. Last year, 50 for 682. He's consistent with the touchdowns, averaging about 6 or 7. But you don't hear the guy, even though he had a down season, you don't hear him bitching in the locker room or anything else. He's a team player. I mean, there has been issues with how he shows himself maybe on the field, but that's just all speculation. That's opinions of what they're going through. It doesn't necessarily indicate what's going on in the individual's head. But he's never come out and publicly said anything bad about anything. So, team player, man.
Again,
imagine him with Josh Allen.
Again, let him play. I mean, let's not forget the years where they brought in John Brown and half the fan base, 90% of the fan base was like, who? And then Cole Beasley is a wash-up slot receiver. Josh Allen makes wide receivers better. It's just the way it is. And they became a pretty darn good duo. You enter Stephon Diggs, and now you have the best wide receiver core Josh has had.
Yep.
Me, and obviously you can use the same argument, well, they haven't played yet, so you can't say that. But on paper right now, I do see a legit wide receiver number 1. I see an advantage to Keon Coleman for moving over to number 2 where he's not going to get the looks. I have Khalil Shakir still there at the slot, and then our tight ends. I think this potentially could be the best wide receiver core catching group that Josh Allen has had in his career. That's just me.
I agree.
Let's get these comments. DJ Moore is a solid wide receiver. He has good numbers and can bring it. Thanks you, Kevin.
Scott, you mentioned he brings average receivers in. He makes them great. What's he do with great receivers? We'll see.
He makes better. Yeah, I mean,
Diggs.
Diggs
was a good receiver.
Was he a great receiver when he came in?
He was a good receiver. Right. He made him great.
He was a really good number 2.
Yep.
I missed one here. Corey says you have to take the good with the bad. You can die hard and bleed Buffalo Bills, but still wonder if we did enough at the end of the day. Allen proves he can do it with anyone. That's a good take, Corey. You're right. You got to take the good with the bad. And it just seems like why not just take the good? And we're 0-0, like Jared says. Yeah. Right now, at this point, take the good.
There's no reason to dwell on anything bad or any speculation that something might be bad. We're 0-0 with 5 weeks off before the training camp starts.
Yeah.
Why are you getting negative?
Yeah,
go.
Be excited about it. I mean, we've got a tough schedule, because we finish top in the league every year.
Go back in the history of Buffalo Bills' tough games. They don't lose the tough games. They lose the ones that we expect them to win.
Yeah.
Right? Every tough game that they've played, they've been in and most likely win.
Alan Larch says, too damn soon to tell if the receivers are going to work out. Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
John Robert says, I have heard Khalil Shakir will play outside more. He did look impressive when he did play the X and the Z, they call them. He did look impressive.
He's good.
He's good. He can play all around. I think he's an all-around guy. Corey says, Coleman will mature a lot this year. I'm hoping, Corey. I hope it's not a smokescreen that we see every year where they say he's bigger, stronger, faster, right? Put up or shut up at this point. Would you agree?
I think the tutelage of Stevie Johnson might add a little bit to his maturity, but also he's came out and said that he's not dumb. He knows this is a make or break. He knows this is it. So, Keon, I'm rooting for you, buddy. Let's go.
Yep. Corey also brings up, we talked about this in previous shows. If we could bring and afford Diggs, I would take it, him and Moore together. And, I was on the fence about this too, Corey. But when you look at our wide receiver core, again, speculation because it's 0-0. You got DJ Moore on one side. You got Khalil Shakir at the slot. You have Keon Coleman or Stephon Diggs as your Z-back. And then who's your fifth guy? Our rookie Skylar Bell, who's getting a lot of praise. That's not a bad wide receiver room. Nope. John Roberts says Stephon Diggs plays a lot in the slot. Yep. Let's hope so. If he gets the business together, then he could do very well this season. Here's a question for the guys watching and the ladies. Bring one person back. Stephon Diggs to be that fourth or fifth receiver, or Milano to be second linebacker behind Bernard and Elarm Ors. Which one do you want, Jared?
Milano had a great season last year. He stayed healthy. I'd like to see him back there too. Backup linebacker. I don't think you can have a better one.
Corey says no negativity. BWO was a little in the moment last week, but I just wanted to let everyone know that we love our Bills. I probably more than they do, that's why I get emotional in the moment. Corey, I'll tell you this much. Now, I'm coming from the heart here, brother. It wasn't – you guys had a good show last week. You guys spoke from your heart, but it's not just your show that's doing it. Trust me. It's all over the place. And you guys got in a moment, and you're frustrated, rightfully so. 18 years of drought. I'm not saying I don't agree with everyone. I'm just saying they're 0-0. And these guys get paid a lot of money to make the decisions they have, and it got to be optimistic. Yes, we get the whole reality conversation while we're being realist and all that. It's tough when you're 0-0, but it wasn't the BWO. It's all over the place, which is crazy. Yep. Which is crazy. Speaking of crazy, Jared, would you believe it's 9 o'clock already?
Yeah.
Holy shnikes. A word from our sponsor.
Right in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York, two local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa, it's all about flavor. Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh-made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something local.
Thank you, Otis Lisa's and Dirty Jack's. Again, the best food, the best drinks. Both hangouts are a great place to hang out. Otis and Lisa's actually has an arcade in the back, Jared. A bunch of cool games, traditional games. Fun place to take the kids. They do birthday parties, events, and all that stuff too. So check out their website and their Facebook page, all that good stuff.
I just got a message from a guy I used to work with. His name's Brad Boget. He said, "Hey, Jared, I'll be bringing my pizza truck to the Bills rally at Reinvention this year. Haven't seen you in a while. Going to be a good time. Just got that now. September 5th, if you don't have it in your calendar yet, Reinvention and 24/7 Buffet and Williams getting together to celebrate the upcoming season and the Help One Foundation, which is a Mark Maddox foundation that his charity. But yeah, he just messaged me. Pretty cool. That's his truck that's going to be there, the food truck, September 5th. If you haven't marked it on your calendar, go to our website, find events, regular season rally, September 5th. Boom. Going to be big.
Nice. That's cool that you're friends with them. Yep. I can't wait. It's a good event, and it's for a great cause. And I know Mark Maddox, Bob Reynolds, his close friend, has passed away. He's put it all over social media. That's why I feel open to talk about it. But very rarely in life you could find someone later in life that connects, that becomes a friend, not just a fan, and does everything with you. I know they traveled together. They did a bunch of Bills things together. So Mark, I'm with you now, brother. It's tough to lose a close friend like that, but just remember the good memories you had together, and hopefully that helps you through. We love you, Mark, and prayers for the family for sure.
Yeah, we're thinking about you, Mark. You and your family, and yeah, we got you.
Speaking of, Jared, Trails End is also a sponsor of our show the full year round. I was going to go right into it, but you jumped right in, man. But good get talking about the regular season rally. For those of you confused, it's the regular season rally, not the Rager this year. But there is a place in Dresden where the air smells like Sunday morning. Fresh bread, sizzling bacon, and coffee that would wake you with a smile. At Trails End Restaurant, comfort food isn't just a menu item, it's a promise. Hearty homestyle meals made fresh, quality ingredients, pies made that very morning, and folks who greet you like family. Even if it's your first time through the door, stop by Trails End Restaurant today, Route 14, Main Street, Dresden, because sometimes the best trails lead you home. I'm going to do the whole lead you home. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Trails Ends, Otis and Lisa's, Dirty Jacks, and of course 26 Shirts, 26shirts.com, helping Western New York families for a very long time. So go to 26shirts.com, check out the merch, and also I tell people check out the story at the bottom of the page. It'll give you a nice in-depth story of where the money's going to and what family you're helping out for sure. So thanks to 26 Shirts, and I'd be remiss to mention we are part of the Buff Fanbase Network. Buff Fanbase on social media, X and Facebook. Hit them up. They're almost 180,000 strong, doing good things, have a bunch of shows like ours, like-minded people with a bunch of different takes on stuff. So good quality content. Check them out. Like, share, subscribe to everyone that I mentioned. All right, Jerry. Let's see here. We just talked about, I think, one of the biggest topics of a concern that's been a concern for a while. This new topic is a concern that obviously with the firing of McDermott, what's next? I know they make this decision to say we got to get over the top, but when you hear about growing pains and all that stuff, Bills fans don't want to hear that. We want you to bring in somebody that's going to put us over the top, not set us back and then over the top. So Joe Brady's first season as a head coach. Obviously, the Bills promoted him, keep him around the continuity of Josh Allen while allowing him to put his full vision into the organization. So I guess the question I have for you, what is the biggest, and the panel, join in, what is the biggest thing Joe Brady can do, obviously off calling offense, I'm talking about head coaching, that you believe Sean McDermott could not?
Well, yeah, right off the bat, consistency and continuity with Josh Allen. Even though he's moving to the head coach, this is the first time Josh Allen's going to have someone there in his back pocket and by his side, wherever you want to put him. But a coach that is going to be there for a while now. Josh is going to have consistency, which is first and foremost awesome. What does he bring? He brings, I think, because he's offense, more of aggressive team, more of a go for it, get after it type of team. You could tell that that's kind of what this year is going to look like with him bringing in Jim Leonard as a defensive coordinator. I think the whole mindset, and we've talked about last week, that Sean McDermott was more of a conservative bend but don't break defense. But Scott, you even said he might have been a bend but don't break offense too. Having the offensive coordinator as your head coach, it might be put the burners on. Let's just keep firing forward, regardless of what we're at. So I think Joe Brady's going to bring more of an excitement. The players have already said it already. They're allowed to be looser. I think you hear most of the linemen saying that. I think the linemen are going to run crazy on the defense, and that's going to be a Jim Leonard scheme. But it's just a different energy. I think unless you're in the locker room, unless you're on the field daily, I don't think I can even put into words what it's going to be. But I just feel like it's a fresh start. And Joe Brady is going to bring an offensive-minded team, which is score, and let's just keep pumping forward instead of conservative.
I honestly think that would be the biggest thing, Jerry, is we know McDermott was a prevent defense, bend but don't break, as you had said before. And you're right, as a head coach, you kind of keep that philosophy throughout. So, I mean, that's a whole other show to talk about. Do you think Joe Brady was held back because of McDermott? But if you're looking at philosophy, you can't help but think that was the case, right? I mean, let's bend but don't break. Let's control the defense. Let's control the pace. Take the ball when we have to. Let them wear out and punt the ball, whatever the case may be. But let's not be aggressive. You can't go in defense doing that and then say, okay, offense, let's hurry up and score so our defense can get back out there. No, that's
a good take, Scott. Because how many times did Josh Allen throw the ball deep last year?
Yeah, he wasn't very efficient when he did it, but they didn't throw the ball deep very often.
Right.
So that is, I think, one of the biggest concerns is can Joe Brady handle the offensive play calls and the head coaching ability? I think personally, it's a lot easier when you're winning, right?
Yeah.
If you're winning, you can let Jim Leonard do what he's got to do on the defense. You don't have to chirp in anybody's ear. You could just let the offense keep flowing because you're the one calling it. If you're losing, that's when adjustments have to happen. That are you going to let Jim Leonard burn, or are you going to have to put in your 2 cents because you're the head coach now? You need to advise a little bit. It'll be interesting to see the dynamics in close games versus blowouts, either one way or the next. I think my biggest thing, Jerry, is just the fact that Brady's on the sideline. I think a lot of fans, including myself, including you, even maybe, you weren't a big fan of seeing Allen on the sideline in that tablet on the phone, right? Just staring down. It wasn't a fun sight to see. So I think just with him being on the sidelines, I think that's going to help out everything as a whole. But I also think that with Joe Brady, he'll get more support if there's a lot of struggle going on in the game. Now, between Brady and McDermott, Jared, when someone says, let's finish the game, right? Okay, we're up by 6, we're up by 7, 8, we got the ball, let's finish the game. Under a McDermott defense, I think let's finish the game was let's let the clock run out. Whereas I think under a Joe Brady offense, I think let's finish it would be like let's put the nail in the coffin and throw the ball deep and score a touchdown.
Yeah, you've played Mortal Kombat, right? When they say finish him, they don't wait.
Yeah.
They get after it and they kill.
They kill. I think that's what you're going to see this year. What was the stat? 28.4 points the Bills had offensively last year. I think that number is going to go up by 5 at least.
You also got to remember, Scott, when I already mentioned it before, that Carmichael's their offensive coordinator. So instead of having McDermott as the head coach and then just your offensive coordinator and everyone following him, now you have an offensive coordinator becoming a head coach, bringing another offensive coordinator in. So there's going to be lots of minds melding together to make this offense successful.
And Carmichael's old and experienced, so I think that's going to bring in a lot of a resource. I'm in the nursing field. I'm in medical, and one of the biggest things you learn, especially with working night shift, is understand your resources. You're new somewhere, understand your resources, and the fact that he's there for Brady becomes a situation where I just mentioned if at times do become tough, you've obviously gone over the game plan, gone over strategy, all that good stuff based on scenarios. If you become a little panicked, you have that shoulder to lean on. And I guess that would be the big thing, is that you hope that as a head coach, he doesn't get too big for his britches and doesn't carry the ego with him. You hope he is a coach that understands resources, and he's got some good resources to lean on.
Hell yeah.
Let's get to these comments as we always do. John Roberts said I prefer Shaq Thompson as a backup linebacker. That's not a bad choice.
He played lights out.
He's shown to be a little healthier, and I think he shows to be maybe even a better 3-4 type style linebacker than Mike linebacker, the bigger guy.
He's a thumper, man.
Corey T says negativity in the offseason brings content. You ain't shitting, Corey. Pardon my language. Got some super fans coming in a costume for the rally.
Nice.
So Jared mentioned the regular season rally, September 5th. Couple things. Corey and our friend Buffalo Spartan and a couple of other members of the super fans actually created a Vet Mafia page, which is a very exciting page. Brings recognition not only to the military, but the Bills fans, putting them together. Go check out their page. They've got stories upon stories of the fanhood and the dedication and commitment that these people put, doing something I would never be able to do. And condolences to them, man. I tell you, it takes a special kind of person to join the military, stick with it. And, you know, I'm proud to say I'm a friend of a bunch of them. And so it's specifically for vets, but go out and check the page. You can at least follow them. It's a good page, and they're going to do some good things there.
Yeah,
speaking of
they'll
that,
definitely do some good things. It's led by a lot of people, so a lot of good people. So go check it out.
This is Sparta. Speak of the devil, there he is, Buffalo Spartan. A little late, but I'm here. Mafia, mount up. Love it, Buffalo Spartan. And like Corey said, he also mentioned super fans. So I mentioned Vet Mafia. Super fans are going to come out. Perfect time for your kids to come out and hang out with some dressed up. I'm not going to say cosplay there, Corey and Buff Spartan, but here we are.
Don't you
But
dare.
they pick a character, they actually perform very well. It's awesome to see the red, white, and blue and these different aspects of like comics and role playing heroes and all that good stuff. So that is a regular season rager. Hope to have as many super fans there as we can. Photo op, hang out, have a beer, talk Bills football.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. If anyone wants to champ, they can try. Not sure what Corey's talking about there. Oh, the hot wing challenge. Got it. Robbie says, hi, Scott and Jerry. Go Bills. Great show. Thanks, Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
Corey is on the highway, the rebel today. I think Brady will play more aggressive than McDermott.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
I agree. Kevin Kanye says, my main concern is, do we have the right personnel for 3-4-D? That's actually the next topic. What man, are you reading my notes? Not sure if we have the right personnel to the D line. Not worried about the offense. With Brady, I wonder how good he will be as an in-game coach. Exactly. Can we handle tough situations, adjust on the fly, and make the right challenge calls? Agree 100%, Kevin. And that's where I mentioned the resources. I think if he is not an egotistical head coach, he will be able to lean on some of the guys that he brought into the system to help us out a little bit. Yeah, main concern, defense. The new look defense could be more aggressive. Jim Leonard's defense is expected to be more versatile, attacking than previous Bills defenses. I wrote that down because, sometimes it's easier to write it down. They brought in Bradley Chubb, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and a draft class loaded. Obviously, they went cornerback heavy. We got our Mike linebacker and Elam Ors. We got a defensive tackle, a nose tackle from Penn State, Jared, that I think is exactly the type of nose tackle that Jim Leonard likes to bring in. I admit I was pounding the table for a 6'6", 330-pound nose tackle, big hog Molly, but that is just not the style of defense that this 3-4 scheme brings. It's not your traditional big nose tackle 3-4 scheme. It's a gap penetrating, wreak havoc, create pressure on the run and on the defense, quarterback, all that good stuff type of defense. So, Jared, will this be the most dangerous Bills defense that we've seen since early McDermott years? And how long will it take? Because Kevin shows pretty much a lot of concern about the current players in the scheme. How long do you think it would take? Because you always say 4 weeks is the first 4 weeks of regular season for a lot is like 4 weeks of preseason. How long you got until this defense is clicking, if they're going to click at all?
Yeah, so Jim Leonard has made a reference to that already a little bit. Coming into this year, he's got to deal with the players that he has. He's got to build his 3-4 defense over the years. That's what he's made reference to. So I think we're not going to see a true crazy defense, 3-4 Jim Leonard defense, probably until year 2 or 3. That doesn't mean that this year's defense can't be great either. Flying to the ball, playing loose. I think if you look back and at the pundits that were against McDermott in his draft, they would all say that the Bills were drafting the wrong players because they're fitting the wrong scheme. Now those players are still here, and they're currently going into the scheme that everybody thought that was the wrong one for them. So we're going from a 4-3 to 3-4. Some of these Bills players have already played in 3-4 defense, which is great, and they'll adapt well. And so I can't wait for that. But no, I think it's going to be a learning curve. If you go to Center in Buffalo with Eric Wood, he mentioned the fact that he had to play, I forgot who it was, Dustin Knox maybe, that you don't want to start clicking until week 13 or 14, and then you start firing away. So the Bills got preseason. They had an extra 2 weeks of camp, so they're already a little bit ahead of the game. But they're going to put the pieces together the first half of the season, figure out what's going on, what players fit well where, do a little fire shoot from some stuff. But by week 13 or 14, I think if things are firing, we'll be all set. If the Bills defense is just a little bit better than it was last year, then it's over.
There you go. Alan Lart says Leonard knows a player's perspective, and he coaches that way, he will be okay. Brady has to keep the players' respect, and if he keeps his foot on the gas, we should be good. Keep the pressure on your opponent, and the Bills should be okay. I agree 100%. I'm putting Kevin's comment back up there because I think he's not sure that we have the right personnel on D-line. And where I first thought, as I mentioned before I brought up the topic, the type of defensive line that we had with the 4-3 hybrid now is a 3-4 with over and under options, all that good stuff. I really don't think we have a lot of players that aren't familiar with the position, like Jared said. Ed Oliver actually came from a 3-4 scheme at Houston in college. So he went 4 years. The Bills drafted him because of what he did with the 3-4 4-eye technique defensive tackle position. Now, TJ Sanders, I see being along the lines of the same exact type player on the other side. So I think those guys that TJ Sanders, Gamecocks, obviously he was a 4-3 defensive tackle, but I can see him with his size and speed and ability that he'll be fine just there. As far as the front seven goes, I think the Bills did a good job drafting with Elam Arms, Durant, the defensive tackle that they grabbed. The only concern I had, and I've been saying this all along, is how Russo is going to adjust to that outside linebacker position. I know Russo played at Miami. He played interior defensive line and on the edge. He played all over, so he's got a little bit of knowledge of everything. But to ask him to cover flats or anything like that in a zone, or even drop back and cover a tight end, I'm skeptical about it. And I'm not going to say he's not good because, again, like I said, Jared, in the beginning of the show, we're 0-0. Give him the benefit of the doubt. But if I'm concerned about anybody, I think everyone is going to do okay and transition well. My biggest thing is Russo. I'm nervous about him. If I want him to prove me wrong, I really do. I think.
See, in that aspect of the game, I think I'm most excited about Russo. He changed his number to 15 to go back to his playing days at Miami when he was wreaking havoc. He's got those long arms. He has the speed. We saw him chase down Waddle in the backfield a couple years back to end the game when they played against Miami. I think he's fast enough and agile enough to do the job, and for him to be out there, oh gosh, man, he's gonna have a season. He's gonna have what his best season that he's had yet.
I like John Roberts' take here. Even Javon Solomon is better, playing better in the scheme. Javon Solomon was pulled in to be a defensive end, and he's a shorter 6-foot guy that got short arms, not that big. So I agree with John Roberts. This is a guy in college, didn't play for the best college team, but the conference, but he was very high sack rank in his college days. So
he has records for sacks.
Yep. So now that he's going to be playing outside linebacker position, which for his height and weight and speed and ability could fall perfectly into his type of play. So,
yeah, and there's been pundits out there and other podcasters that have mentioned Solomon too, that this is the exact defense that he needs to be in for success. So Javon Solomon, he might, I think, I forgot who it was. I want to say it was Sal Capaccio who said that he believes that this might be a breakout season for Javon.
Very good. Very well could. You get that edge rusher, outside linebacker to go one-on-one against the tight end, or even outside the tackle with the other guys getting double teamed. It could be a problem. Leonard's bringing blitzes. He's bringing disguise. He's bringing moving defenses. If these guys can pick it up, Jerry, and pick it up quickly, I have no doubt in my mind that with the talent we have in Buffalo here, with their new draft picks, and even with the resources that Jim Leonard has as well as Jim Leonard, I don't see this defense having that hard of a time in the NFL this year. I think they'll pick it up quick.
Right, and that's what's exciting. We're hoping that if the defense does click early, like I said, year 2 and 3 is when he's going to have the players there that he wants. So if we have an elite defense this year, it's just going to get better in the future.
Yep. Previous shows, Jerry, we mentioned breakout player of the year. Who do we think on defense is going to be the breakout player? I think the consensus was probably Michael Hoyt in that regard. But another concern, obviously, this is a show of trying to get people off the ledge about the negativity about the Buffalo Bills in 2026. Young players they brought in. And it is, I agree, there is some concern. We have 3 corners that are holding down the second position outside of Benford, Harrison, and our nickel back right now is Lee Alford. Our backups are Kilgore, probably going to be the nickel, Torian Pride, and then Igbinosun. That's a worry. I'm glad Benford's there to mentor these guys, but that is a reason for concern. We always say the thing for a defensive back is a dominant front seven. So hopefully the Buffalo Bills front 3-4 defense with the scheme and the hybrids can create havoc and wreak havoc and make these quarterbacks panic. But we've got a young defensive backfield. Who do you see shining the most? And I know it went backfield, but who do you see shining the most of our young bucks, the drafted guys, the TJ Parkers, the Durant, our defensive tackle, or those listed safeties, corners I mentioned? Who do you see getting immediate playing time, and who do you see having the biggest impact right away?
Well, first and foremost, I think the young bucks coming in, they have good leadership in front of them to lead them the right way. Maxwell Harrison coming off a season that he fought injury with. Hopefully he puts a full season together. Obviously he showed sparks of being a great corner. Benford, great back there. Cole Bishop, CJ Gardner back there being a veteran safety. So we have the vets there to get these guys going. But as far as who do I think might be the breakout young buck, I think it's got to be Kilgore. I mean, I think we have promising spots for him at the CB, nickel taking over Taron Johnson's spot. It's going to look different in this 3-4 defense, but not too much. But I think a lot of Bills Mafia, and I think I have a little bit of high expectations for this young guy coming in. Just watch film of Taron Johnson and learn from the other guys. We'll let the hog mollies up front do what they got to do, but like I said, that our secondary, who we were concerned about at the beginning of last year, I am no longer concerned about this coming up year, and I'm actually really excited, and I can't wait to see Cole Bishop become an All-Pro this year.
You know what I'm excited about? The food truck at this year's regular season Rager Rally has chimed in. Another one bites the crust. Go Bills! Looking forward to the Rager at Reinvention Brewing Company this year. See you there. We will see you there. Thank you for chiming in for sure. Can't wait to eat some food. We get there a little early, the setup and all that stuff, and then the beer starts flowing, and then we're hungry. So glad to have you there. Another one bites the crust. I love that title. Can't wait for it for sure. I mentioned the names, Jared, and how many of you, by the raise of hands, forget that we drafted TJ Parker from Clemson in that second round?
Yeah. Yep.
All the talk about the 3-4-D, who's going to play edge, who Ed Oliver, who's our Mike linebacker, all that stuff. We forget that we brought in a pretty well-rounded defensive edge rusher, outside linebacker in TJ Parker. Do I think he's going to have the biggest impact as a young Bucks? I think he's going to have a big one. I really do. I think he's going to have 8+ sacks, to be honest with you. But nice. I'm with you, Jared. I think Jalen Kilgore is a guy that plays safety, but he is versatile enough to come and dominate inside the box in that 3-4 scheme as a nickel back and make it hard for he makes it able, Jared, when they show a run heavy scheme that the Bills can throw out that nickel back and still be productive at him in the box. So
it was South Carolina Gamecocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was listed at safety, but if you look at all his film, he's playing up.
Yep, which is awesome. I'm excited for him. But the guys, not for nothing, we have a potential draft class where majority of them will make the roster and have some significant playing time for sure. John Roberts says Alford has experience and should help. Yes, he's from Atlanta. He's a free agent from Atlanta that the Bills brought over to fulfill Taron Johnson when they first released him. John Robert also says, who do you think will be the kick returner, punt returner? They are trying out a lot of players. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Jared, but remind everyone who you think. Kick returner first.
Yeah, I think obviously it's going to be Ray Davis for the kick returner, but I believe that Skylar Bell will be doing the punts.
I'm with you on that. But John Robert, like you said, they're going to try out a lot of people.
Yep.
And like us on the panel, Swank included, the biggest thing is to get Josh Allen the ball. Yeah. So I honestly, unless the defense messes up and you're catching the ball at the 2-yard line from a punt or 5-yard line, you got to take it out. But anywhere inside that 15, Jared, just fair catch the damn thing and catch it. Because the biggest weapon we have is the guy that's running out with the play calls.
Mr.
Bradley
17.
Chubb has been a leader to TJ Parker, says John Robert. That's another one of those things that I don't think a lot of fans they shake their foot at, and they're not happy about the Bradley Chubb signing. There's a lot of guys out there, obviously, with the drama that the Hendrickson and what's his name, Garrett
Crosby,
Crosby, all them.
Garrett.
There's a lot of those guys that the Bills weren't just going to get, and a lot of the pundits say Bradley Chubb. Well, it's a Timu outside linebacker that the Bills brought in. You got to remember, he led the Miami Dolphins in sacks on a Miami defense that he was the only threat. So he was getting double teamed. He was schemed against. This Bills defense is a lot different than this Jim Leonard led Bills defense is a lot different than that Miami defense. Bradley Chubb still has some gas in the tank. I'm excited to see what he has. Again, we're 0-0, and we've never seen Bradley Chubb here. Why are we knocking him? I'm excited for him. Give him a chance.
Bradley Chubb, Scott, like what John Robert was saying, he's mentoring the young bucks. He actually invited them because he trains down in Florida. He's invited some of the players to come down and train with him. So that's why he wears the C, my guys.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, I've had a great time today, Jared. Loved doing the show mano a mano with my brother, 800 strong. Thank you for tuning in. We got a bunch of comments. I do want to do one more bonus hot take. And you can answer this however you want. Take as much time as you want. If it goes over 9:30, I will be hitting the overtime button. But I know you've mentioned it before, Jared, but what do the Bills have to do to take the number 1 seed to win the AFC championship and to get us to that Super Bowl? What do they have to do?
Well, the obvious number one answer is to stay healthy. If this Buffalo Bills team stays healthy with other NFL teams, you go a long way. But to get this team to be the number 1 seed and to be rolling we're all optimistic about this Buffalo Bills defense coming in. We're worried, but I think we got to think positive. If this defense starts clicking early, then we'll have the number 1 seed locked up by week 16 going into that last game. So, last 2 games. So I think Jim Leonard in that new 3-4 defense, if it starts clicking, then that's going to be the key factor to the number 1 seed. Our offense, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, Scott, it doesn't matter who's catching the ball or catching those passes from Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to be there every Sunday showing up, throwing the ball. And we have the best running back in the league and the best tight end room in the league. So that offense I'm not worried about. It's the defense. If they click, we're good.
I have to agree with you. I mean, it's a big adjustment, obviously. Talk about scheme, talk about coach, talk about the assistants, all that stuff. It's a big change. But this is the NFL, so hopefully they can acclimate to what they're being asked to do. I agree. If the defense can become dominant, scare offenses, create turnovers, get sacks, tackles for losses, all that good stuff, and become like a top 5 defense, I see no reason why the Bills shouldn't be hosting the AFC Championship game. I really don't. And to be honest with you, I've said it before, our wide receiver room on paper is better than it's been in a very long time. 0-0, we don't know that yet, but that's what I'm seeing. An offensive line that's returning 4 out of 5, but that 5th guy is a guy that's been spelled in and back and forth, that's been in there before and knows this offensive scheme. An MVP quarterback 2 years ago, the rushing leader last year, and an offensive coordinator from which, if he was being held back, is now going to release the hounds and now going to release all the potential that Josh Allen has in this offense. Defense. If the defense changes, Jared, we're hosting that AFC Championship game. If it's a struggle, we're still making the playoffs because guess who we have at the quarterback position?
MVP.
Josh Allen. There you go. Love that answer. Before we head out and give our final thoughts, I do want to give a special thanks out to those that have joined us in the conversation. You guys always do a great job. Comment like crazy. Come up with great topics. Join the conversation. Join the Stampede, as we always say. You guys do a great job, and we love every second of it. Shout out to our sponsors, Trails End, Otis and Lisa's, and Dirty Jacks. One last read for Otis and Lisa's right in the middle, in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York. 2 local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa's, it's all about flavor. Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh-made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout, cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa, friends of mine, friends of ours. It's more than a great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. And that's what it's all about. On top of that, not only are you going to be supporting our local favorites, they're also every one of them is a supporter of their community. So it's not like we're just shouting out to them because they got good food and drinks. They contribute, which is a beautiful thing to the Finger Lakes, and that's why we are blessed and so happy to be sponsored by them for the year. Jared, let's hit up final comments. I will tell everyone we are on every Tuesday, 8:30. It'll be just Jared and me next week. Swank will be off for Mike Knight. But we're talking Bills football during this lull season. Jared, give us a holler. Tell us where to find you, and send us off. Well, I'll send us off, but give us a nice little final thought, would you?
All right, go back to minute 14 of the show, and that's where you'll find us. We're on all social media platforms, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. The ribbon ceremony was today to open up a new chapter in Buffalo Bills history. We can't forget what happened in the past to bring us to what the future could possibly bring. Be proud of what you witnessed for the last 45, 50, 60 years at Buffalo, at Rich Stadium, the Rock Pile, Ralph Wilson, New Era. There's many memories there. Remember those, bring them to the new high mark, and let's make some more. There's a special feeling about being a Buffalo Bills fan, and it's not the fact that it's a New York team, it's in Buffalo, but it's the damn colors, red, white, and blue. There's always going to be a special part that's patriotic for me as a Bills fan, not only because I like football, but the United States of America. The World Cup is happening right now, and I couldn't be more proud to be an American than I am right now. You go out and you look up any World Cup stories, and the United States is representing well, not only on the field, but in the cities and the communities that are hosting these games. This world is coming together amazingly these last couple of weeks because of this game called football. And it's not our football, but it is the world's football. And like I said, you go out there and you look at social media, the Scots, they're having fun here. Switzerland's rolling down the fields. There's teams from all over the world coming here. Japan, tasting our food, seeing our lakes, our mountains, the Grand Canyon. It reminds me that this red, white, and blue is a special color. It's a special scheme. It's a special place to be. Sometimes we take for granted where we're at as Americans, as United States citizens, and just look around. We got something special here, and I'm proud to be an American for that reason. This past couple of weeks, my boy is a huge Messi fan. We've been rooting for Argentina to win with America, but it's just bringing the world together. United States, you're doing a great job hosting. North America, you're doing a great job of hosting this World Cup, and if it's this that brings the world together and brings peace and happiness in a world that's been kind of crumbling the last couple of years, then let it be. God bless America, USA, red, white, and blue. Go Buffalo Bills.
And America's not doing too bad themselves.
Nope. 2-0 right now.
2-0. And, not for nothing, Jerry, but that's why we love the sport of football. At a young age, obviously, you have a son that played in the youth, and I currently do. And just what football brings as a whole, it brings a camaraderie, it brings a joy, and it brings people together. People come to the fans and root for the same thing. It's like all a common cause thing. And Olympics and soccer and all that stuff do that. I'm glad they are hosting. You're right. The Europeans are going crazy with how awesome America is. And it's a good feeling. So be proud of what we have here. The location and because of those vets that I talked about previously, we are able to do stuff like this.
Hell yeah.
Where people can come over and forget everything that's happened in the past and just enjoy a game, a drink, and some food together. So you're right. God bless America. Love it. September 5th, 2026 at Reinvention Brewing, the regular season rally. Our event is now on Facebook. It's Facebook official. We have food trucks. I always say trinkets, but we got somebody that's going to sell hats. We got some people that are selling merchandise and all that stuff. We're going to have raffles, 50/50s. We got a beer release from Reinvention. It's a good time all together, all while raising money for Mark Maddox's Help One Foundation. We're excited to have the super fans and the vets out with us this time. Mark Maddox is going to hopefully come out with us again. Mark, thinking about you, and we just can't forget what has been given to us by our freedoms that we have. I also want to throw out this. The show was about optimism. Every year, Bills fans throw out the term, "This is our year." And I encourage pundits, social media, podcast, all that stuff, express your opinion. You have every right to. But I would rather hear that opinion when the season has started rather than be pessimistic and shit on the Bills before they even played their first snap. That's just my take on it. 24/7 Buff Pandemonium and the K-Gun Report are a bit over optimistic, but we have that's our thought. We're 0-0. We've got 5 weeks before camp starts. Be excited for the decisions that the people that we hope will make the right decisions for us are making, and cheer on these players that don the jersey. We talk about it every year. Whoever puts on that red, white, and blue, we're rooting for. So if the people that are making a shit ton of millions of dollars rooting on the Bills and giving them their advantage of winning the Super Bowl, don't you think we ought to be optimistic? Have your thoughts, twist it a little bit. It's kind of our responsibility to put out a platform where we got to keep Bills fans intrigued and interested. Forget the algorithms. Talk positive Bills football. I can't wait to talk next week. Hey, fans, leave a comment on our page. What do you want to talk about next week? We'll discuss it. We got 4 more weeks until camp actually starts, so I can't wait to see you all there. Until then, Jerry, love you, brother. Go Bills.
Love you too. Go Bills.
Go. I'm not going to do it as long as Swank does, but go Bills.
Baby blue